Hi guys, how you doing? I'm here in the caravan studio again, and we've got Michael Jordan behind us. Thanks, Mike. Big topic, Clint Howson, Clint's the grammar. Who is Clint Howson? Yeah, it never was a better time to come out with this video. I'm sort of going to talk about his unique capacity to influence people in a very positive way. I'm going to talk about his own achievements as a fighter, which have been incredible. I am also going to talk about a few tiny little things. I'm going to keep it short. Yeah, Howson. So I first met the guy. At 7, moved from the country, come to the city, Wilton Primary School, 1980s, and there I got this blonde-haired sort of short guy rocks up and he goes, "Hey man, do you like John Farnham?" And I'm like all shy and new and sort of this is the big smoke, and he's like, yeah, Whispering Jack, you know Whispering Jack, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, and so that was the start of a pretty decent friendship, and we weren't sort of living in each other's pockets, but we were definitely good mates. For a while we had some common interests, riding skateboards down hills across like main roads and shit. But yeah, then a few years later, 1995, roughly around this time, Howson's like, "Hey man, you see, like," because Howson lived in the sort of near the industrial area there in Willis and Upper Canthus Road and Apsley and High Road and that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's a kickboxing gym, and like, come down and check it out." I mean, and I'm like, "Oh, all right, yeah." I was just your normal kind of 15-year-old, in high school, I'd been strangled and humiliated, and it's the usual runabout stuff as you're going through high school. So yeah, great, let's check it out. So we went down there together, and Dave Rayner Bando, it was a branch of Kevin Jr.'s Bando, Burmese Bando, which was a sort of a style of Muay Thai, and anyway, so within 3 months, Clint's doing competition. He's offered a fight night, and this was a long time ago. He didn't get an opponent with the same. You didn't even get an opponent with the same weight back in the days. You didn't, certainly your records weren't matched at all, and it wasn't obvious. You just didn't know who you'd be in the ring with. And Howson was 50 kilos, and his opponent was 61 or 62, and about the same age. And that kind of gap in weight was just totally unimaginable these days, of course. From Uncle Mai, I think his opponent, a good kid and known, but 12 gap difference, and sure enough, Howson wins the fight, the decision or something. But that was Bill Seth's gym, Uncle Mai. Bill Seth's long sort of legacy there. Now that's the gym behind, you could say, Monsters and Lovitz and so on. But yeah, so that was the start. But yeah, sure enough, Clint Howson's mum, who she was there, and there was a bit of a trip to the hospital, in fact, but I think it was a bit more of a precaution rather than anything else. And that was sort of the start of things for Clint. He was in and out and straight in there, and he was a very athletic guy, Howson. He won the races. He was the dude who won the 100-meter sprint, and he'd done gymnastics, believe it or not. So he was a gifted athlete. Anyway, so that's Howson. I wouldn't be involved with kickboxing at all if it wasn't for Howson. And Howson also was the catalyst to get me in the boxing, to jump the ropes. I was sort of just training. Didn't have big aspirations, and yeah, sure enough, jumped in. He's like, "Come down and help out. We got this, help out with this show." And there's always some story, and you kind of got drawn into the story. That's kind of hasn't changed. It's a lot safer these days, I'd say. There's a little bit less risk. There wasn't padding before. You kind of anyway. So that was great. And Howson was there, and that happened a few times. And right in the thick of it, we were from that sort of modest start. We, went to starting training people and selling beers in the backyard and shit, and some clandestine shows. And Howson was in the thick of it. And but people agree. I mean, I would not be here if it wasn't for him. And there's probably got to be hundreds of people like that. And it's not just starting the sport, it's the stepping up. He's a real, he sees talent, and you step in a gym just wanting to learn something, and within weeks Howson's got you lined up for a fight, and you're not in trouble because you're in safe hands. His advice to me was like, first fight, kind of 1-2 clinch, 1-2 clinch, 1-2 clinch, and that's pretty much a great strategy. Anyway, for a beginner, you're not, if you've got a bit of reach, whatever. But Yeah, but Hassan, you know, he's trained a lot of people. The Viking world champions. He's held the pads, and he's very humble. Doesn't want an award. Doesn't want main stage. He'll fucking be pissed off when he sees this. Yeah, he. You know, starting fights is usually a bad thing, but you know, it's antisocial. It's even criminal if you're talking about the front of McDonald's. But in the combat sports scene, yeah, he's brought a lot of people the best memories of their lives, and good on him. But yeah, he also had this decorated career, man. I don't know how many fights the guy's had. Been trying to find out, but it's definitely 40 or 50, and there's not that many guys around that had that. I mean, he would just take a fight like that, interstate here, there, and to get that number of fights up when you know, the scene was quieter. It was not like now where you could literally fight every weekend if you fucking wanted to these days. But back in those days, yeah, a bit of hustle to get those fights, and yeah, he did it, and he's got titles in different weights, and so he's coming up for a boxing fight now. People might be thinking, well, people have been saying, what's Hassan doing boxing? But yeah, don't be fooled, man. He's done boxing before. He's fought Sean Costello, a heavyweight, very technical, in shape boxer who's probably 30 kilos heavier than Hassan, and those guys put on a great boxing show. Was full on. So yeah, he's been there. He's done all the stuff, and he's just a legend. I mean, I would say that he'd have to be one of the top choices for a Hall of Fame in Perth, just on his unique, inspirational. You know, he could just get. He's just so influential, and Alex Roberts, the Viking world champion, said exactly the same thing. He said he's a great pad holder, and he'll just get you motivated and get you there. So I think the dude needs some respect. He's well, everyone fucking already respects, you know, Instagram obviously, but dude, you know, he's just one Hall of Famer. Absolutely, probably missed out the last time around. Age, you know, you kind of needed to be in your mid-50s up to be considered there. But old Hassan, yeah, next round, definitely. And yeah, a lot of stories. Hassan, you know, not afraid. He's a thrill seeker. He's you know, there's been a lot of stories that can't be aired. I can't talk about them here. They're just too incriminating. But I'm not talking about anything that's evil or ill-mannered or bad-hearted, or, you know, he's just there and has a good time. You see him at the shows, has a drink, and he. But yeah, good on him, mate. CLINT HOWSON, Clintstagrammer. He's in the boxing ring this weekend, which is incredible for like someone in their mid-40s, and he's fighting JORDAN WEIR, who is a very strong fighter. He's also done a lot in the sport. So yeah, see you there.